Well, my friends, this kind of sort of broke since I first dealt with today's subject. I didn't have a time to come up with a brand new label for this, but I love this story. Susan Sarandon basically gets shit canned from, and that's a valid word, I think, from UTA, not with a UTI, but from UTA because she's so bold. 77 years old, not exactly in the I don't know what you want to call it, in the prime of her career, but she basically decides that she's going to get up there and she's going to outdo everybody else because she's so smart and she's such a genius and is a real a lefty and excuse me. Susan Sarandon has been dumped by her Hollywood agency UTA over her controversial remark that frightened Jews in America facing rising anti Semitism are getting, quote, a taste of how it feels to be Muslim. Hey, you're smart. We've lost our minds. Now, do you think that's a smart idea? Would you say that? Would you? Now, of course, people would say, "Oh, of course it was." Somebody emailed me, not emailed me, but commented, and I don't. Unlike Piers Morgan, I don't ban people. I didn't really. I don't even know who the person is, but they said, "Yeah, you're shilling for the Jews." It's like, what? Shilling? What are you talking about? We're losing our minds over this stuff. We are losing our minds. Now, by the way, speaking one thing about Sam Altman, did you hear this? I thought this was pretty cool. As the kids say, do they still say cool? I think they do. These kids today with their rock and roll. Anyway, Sam Altman. Sam Altman. There we go. Listen to this. I knew I liked this guy. Listen to this one. Personal. Sam Altman is a prepper. He said in 2016, I have guns, gold, potassium iodide, antibiotics, batteries, water, gas masks from the Israeli Defense Force, and a big patch of land in Big Sur I can fly to. He calls himself a prepper. I just think that makes sense, don't you? And a lot of people that think that makes sense. Well, let me tell you something right now. We got a brand new deal from our good friends at what? That's right, My Patriot Supply. Preparewithlionel.com. Listen to this beaut. Patriot, the world at every level and facet is in peril. Everything has changed. The Great Reset is here. Just look around you. You must become more self-reliant and sufficient and secure the future for your family. Act today with My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the country's largest preparedness company, and it's more than equipped to stock your shelf. Their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit provides delicious breakfast, lunches, and dinners that last up to 25 years in storage. And right now, listen carefully, it's $200 off. That's right. Get over 2,000 calories every day. Just add water and heat, then eat. Make sure every member of your family has a 3-month food kit from My Patriot Supply. Go right now to my special website at preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com for $200 in savings. Be sure to order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. It's best to have emergency food and not need it than to need it and not have it. Take $200 off right now at preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. Write this down, commit it to memory, preparewithlionel.com. What the hell are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? An invitation? Huh? I just, by the way, did I did 2 hours for my good friend Anthony Cumia, who I substituted for him. And I talked for 2 hours straight. And I got to tell you something, I'm a little shingad. So if I say something that's a little strange, it's because I've been talking for 2 hours. Try that. Sometime go into a bathroom by yourself. Don't take pictures. Stand in front of the mirror and talk about something. Talk about anything, where you're from, what you like, what you want to eat, and look at your clock. Look at your watch. See how much time has gone by. It's like 5 minutes. Maybe. And you're wondering, what else do I say? Try 2 hours. No commercial, just 2 hours. Wow. How do I do it? Talent, maybe, I guess. A gift, in any event. Susan Sarandon got shit canned, pardon me. I think that's a valid word. I'm not one to be gratuitously, dare I say, I don't know what the word is. I'm not gratuitously coprolalic. I don't say things just, to say things like a lot of people do just to get. But sometimes I think there are some words that, by virtue of our words, our etymology, our lexicon, I think some words make more sense. Don't you? I think, as an example, the word bullshit is it's beyond. It doesn't mean that. It means, well, you know what it means. Susan Sarandon said basically, she says, well, anybody who's frightened, those Jews in America facing rising anti-Semitism are, quote, getting a taste of how it feels to be Muslim. Page 6 reports that staffers at the agency UTA were so hurt and shocked by left-wing Sarandon's comments that it led to them cutting ties. They said, that's enough. We're out of here. She had been with the agency since 2014. Sarandon, who was among those leading the SAG-AFTRA strike, is yet to comment. I think it has yet to comment. Anyway, the agency, which stands for United Talent Agency, is run by Jewish CEO Jeremy Zimmer. Sarandon made the inflammatory remark at a protest in New York City on November the 17th. She said people who are afraid to be Jewish in America are getting a taste of what it feels like to be Muslim in America. Jews slammed her remarks, as some Muslim Americans, including Asra Nomani, have taken to social media to explain to Sarandon the ways in which their lives improved when they moved to America. Sharing a photo of herself with her parents, Nomani said, "Hi there, Susan Sarandon. This is my mom, my dad, and me on the rail trail in Morgantown, West by God, Virginia. Let me tell you what it means to be Muslim in America. My dad didn't have to be a second class," and it goes on and on and on. Now, let me ask you a question. I told you this one guy said, I'm shilling for the Jews. Is it shilling for the Jews to say this is stupid? To say this? Is that would you say that? Would you say, where is this? What is the source of this lunacy? What is the lunacy? Why are people saying that? Why is there this incredible anger? Why? Please tell me. Have you ever found yourself so angry? I have never found myself about this. How is somebody so upset? How are you? Seriously. Some guy from Newark, or maybe from Collingswood, Montana, or wherever, all of a sudden enraged by what's going on. Are you really? Are you? I mean, do you understand what's happening here? We're losing our minds. And by the way, Sam Altman, I don't know what Sam feels about this, but do you hear? I have never. I mean, there's been some from the days of Al Sharpton. By the way, has he been kind of quiet? Remember Freddie's Fashion Mart, or Freddie's the Jewish Interlopers, or something like that? Crown Heights. There was a big deal about that, but not like this. I'll bet you there are more people. I got to tell you something so that you understand something. In 9/11, I was here, of course. I told you this on 9/11, and I will never forget this. I was in a cab driver. I was in a cab, and the driver, very nice man, had a a sign. I'll never forget this. He went to like a professional sign, and he wrote, I am a Sikh or I am Sikh, Sikh. He was Indian, whatever. And I said, no, don't do that. I said, Americans don't even know that. I said, just put I am not an Arab or something, because that's really, they didn't know an Indian, a Sikh from an Arab. And I felt the same way. I said, what are you talking about? The Arabs have nothing to do, or Muslims have nothing to do with this. Nothing. Remember the anti-Arab stuff? Oh my God, I will never forget. Never. I saw this. There's an Irish pub on 57th Street. And down the street was CBS. 60 Minutes on one side, CBS on the other. Between 10th and 11th is actually 11th and 10th and 11th. And make a long story short, there was a group who were walking from CBS up. They were heading east on 57th towards I guess Broadway or whatever. Make a long story short, I keep saying that. They had their sign. They said, and basically it was nothing. It was kind of a generic about we are proud of our Muslim whatever is fine. And I remember being in this group with friends of mine after 9/11. They walked outside, and I remember the look on their face when they were looking at these people. And I thought, wow. And I said, these people have nothing to do with 9/11. Yeah. But they secretly are, happy about this. And, well, I can't read minds, but I'm sure there must be some. I mean, remember Ward Churchill? Remember that guy who referred to he was that weird professor type who referred to them as little Eichmanns. Remember that one? I don't understand this. So I said the same thing then. I said, what are you getting upset about? The Muslims have nothing to do with any of this. Nothing. But oh, no. Remember this? It was the Quran did this. And it was. Everybody was an expert in the Quran. I said, you never read the Quran. I don't understand. It's a blood oath. They hate us. I said, there was not Islamophobia, it was Islam hatred after 9/11. I saw this then, but nothing like this. Nothing like this. Because this is rising. Say, I'll see your anti-Semitism and I'll raise you one. What is everybody getting so bent on the shape for? Let me ask you something. What would you say? What would you think if you were in Israel? What would you think? Tell me. Answer my question. Let's say you were a Jew in Israel or an Israeli, and maybe an Arab Israeli, or maybe you were just living in Israel. What would you say? Answer my question. What would you think? What would you think? Susan Sarandon, what would you think? I'll get to Sam Altman one of these days, I guess, but this is so important. Seriously, what would you think? I'm serious. What do you think you'd think? What do you think you would feel like? After October the 7th or whatever. How would you feel if you were in Gaza? What do you think you would feel about Israel if you were in Gaza? What would you feel like? What would you feel like if you're a Palestinian? And tell me. Does this mean anything to you? Am I being a shill for both sides now? Because I'm asking you, what would you feel like? What do you think they would feel like? What do you think kids feel like? Did you see these pictures of kids? I think it was the John Oliver piece. Go ahead and see that one. Man, it is really good. And there's these kids in these camps, and they're walking around, they're playing, and they said, I want to go home. I want to go back to my room, and I want to those things didn't that break your heart? Breaks your heart. How do you think he feels? How do you think they feel? What am I supposed to say about that? Now, I got news for you, and I want you to recognize this fact, and I want you to think very, very, very carefully, okay, about what's happening here. And this is really, really something. But let me see if I can explain this to you. I am a person who, believe it or not, has never, ever, ever. I mean, I always to a fault, always enjoy an empathic connection to people. I always ask myself, how would you feel if you were black in this country? What would you feel like? I don't know, but what would you feel like? What would you feel like in the back of your mind? What would you feel like in terms of your culture? What would you feel like? What would you feel like? How would you feel like if you were black in this country? Does anybody ever think about that? Of course not. Anybody ever wonders like, well, that's a damn good question. I never really thought about that. Yeah, what would you feel like? How would you feel about history? How would you feel about your place in the world if you just, I mean, nobody brought it to your attention. May not be a big deal at all. I don't know. But how do you think you would feel? How would you feel? Well, did you see this? ChatGPT is at capacity right now. Get notified when we're back. Wow. Ahoy, mateys. We've been having a lot of scurvy dogs checking out ChatGPT right now. We're doing our best to make sure every landlubber gets a chance to give it a try. ChatGPT is like, whoa, ever since Sammy left, check out ChatGPT. I'm wondering something I said. By the way, ChatGPT will never let you ask any question about Hamas. If you write anything into this, got the word Hamas in it, they say, no, Hamas is a terrorist organization. I know it's a terrorist organization, but I'm just saying, would you please? No. Hamas it will not allow you to say anything about Hamas. Now, come on. For the love of God. Do you understand that? Years ago, people would say this and they would say, wow, be very careful. Don't say this too loud. But whenever you want to understand something, you have to ask yourself, what is it that they thought at the time? What did Germans think during Nazi Germany? What did the rank and file? What do they think? What do they feel? Do you know what being a human is? Schadenfreude, comeuppance. Don't you love that? Don't you? I mean, this is who we are. We're never going to get anywhere with this, right? Because we have these mean people in the world who will never realize it. I tell you what, social media has made me hate people. You go back to Susan Sarandon. You're an idiot. You're 77 years old, and you're going to get up in front of people, and you're going to say, hey, all you Jews, now you know what Muslims feel like. I'm Susan Sarandon. I used to be an actress, and now nobody will touch me. Now, you could argue, should they fire her? Well, I guarantee you one thing. Whenever you ask that question, if she had said something about black people, so don't give me this nonsense where they say, well, I don't know if she said something about black people, forget it. I was watching Lex Friedman. It was a great show. And he was talking to I was talking about the bell curve and people who in the world of intelligence try to look at the issues of whether there is an intellectual correlation to race. Oh my God. Oh. Don't say that. I want you to learn something right now. I want you to tell your kids this. And I want you to do me a favor. If you're a grandparent, I want you to call your kids, and I want you to tell them this from me. Tell them, oh, Uncle Lionel told you this. I want you to sit them down. And I want you to understand something. And take it from somebody who's been doing this for a long time, who found in the old days when we were first in talk radio, the only thing they're worried about was an F-bomb. And that was about it. I mean, that that would get you in trouble. But that's it. Okay. And it was the F-bomb, as it were. Okay. Now, this is the interesting thing. I want you to ask your kids, or tell them, remember this: pick the hill you want to die on. Pick that thing you want to. Say, I'm gonna go up to that boss. I'm gonna say, take this job and shove it. I ain't working. Okay, fine. Go ahead and do that, and then you're gonna be fired. But pick the hill you want to die on. Okay, Susan Sarandon, you will never be known. And as we look back on the career of Susan Sarandon, oh, we shall remember not her Thelma and Louise or Dead Man Walking or Bull Durham or Rocky Horror Picture Show. No. We will remember when she stood before the world and said that now Jews will know what it feels to be Muslim. So you tell your kids, pick the hill you want to die on. That's it, Susan. Remember the Dixie Chicks? The Dixie Chicks? I never knew anybody cared so much about George Bush, but they were in England, and they said, now you know what, we're embarrassed to be from Texas or something. I don't know what the hell. It was the weirdest thing. George Bush? They just ended her. Kathy Griffin? Why did they get upset over the fact she held that faux severed head of Trump? They hated Trump. Why did I think they just hated Kathy Griffin? How does this work out? Can I tell you something? I'm going to tell you something. You know what I feel? I don't care. Let her say what she wants. I don't care. It's Susan Sarandon. No. Excuse me. There's an article today about John Lovitz. John Lovitz, comedy icon. I never understood how anybody thought John Lovitz is funny. Yeah, that's the ticket. Okay. All right, fine. I don't understand. And he was going after Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel or whatever. Okay. Because they're too political. So what? What happened to me? What happened to me when I was born not caring at all about the words of people that aren't important? What's the matter with me? What helped me with this? I don't care. Do you care? Name one person who's what they said you cared about. You said, oh no. You're not going to believe what Clint Eastwood said. Oh, he broke my heart. What is it? What's the matter with me? I don't care. I want to live in a world where everybody says whatever they want. And it's Susan Sarandon. You want to fire her? Do you want to fire her because you don't think she's going to get a job? Do you think you just don't like what she said? You don't like what she said. You're an agent. She's an actress. You're supposed to get her a job. You're trying to get her a job. You're firing her because you don't like what she said? Well, what does that have to do with her acting? She's Susan Sarandon. Who gives a damn? So she doesn't like Jews. Okay, fine. This one doesn't like Muslims. This one doesn't like Jews. This one doesn't like blacks. Okay, fine. Great. What is this? What do I care? It's Susan Sarandon. Who gives a shit? And no, I'm serious. Is that the way to be? Helen Thomas. Remember Helen Thomas? Good one there. Remember her? Oh, man. Sinead O'Connor, ripping picture of the Pope. That didn't age well, did it? That didn't. Even though the Pope was probably more complicit in sexual activity than anything else. Think of some other ones. Who remembers Jimmy the Greek, Al Campanis? Who remembers that one? Remember that? Dusty Baker said something. Dusty Baker was remember Dusty Baker, the baseball coach, about people, color of skin. He talked about Dusty Baker. Dusty Baker. Here you go. Dusty Baker was a manager of Houston who in 2018, he commented on skin color and he said, you don't see some brothers walking around with white stuff, sunblock on there, whatever it is. I don't care. Why is it that people are Paula Dean, Roseanne, they got for us? Like, what difference does it? I'm serious. See, here is the thing. You must understand something. In my world, I don't care. I don't care what people. I don't. I've always been fascinated by the rules of you can say this, but you can't say that. You can say this. You can hate this group, but you can't hate that group. We're going to lose ourselves in this, my friends. I want you to be able to appreciate and understand and grasp feeling compassion, feel compassion for Jews, feel Israelis, and feel compassion for people in Gaza. Simultaneously, you can do it. Let's stop for a second. Please subscribe to this channel. And before we forget, listen to this very, very important word about a very important investment. Dark clouds are gathering as markets shudder. Stocks are sinking, currency stumbling, fear and uncertainty reign. The Middle East, Ukraine, Taiwan, the debt, it's endless. Yet one asset stands firm: gold. In crisis after crisis, gold is there in the background. Its enduring value guards against loss, like a missile shield against incoming. While paper wealth burns, gold persists. Shield your savings against looming threats, war, recession, contagion, and avoid the frenzied panic of the unprepared. Take control in the chaos. Fortune favors decisive action. Get hold of gold now before it's out of reach. And right now, Noble Gold Investments offers a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with every new IRA. Claim your free coin today to secure your financial future. As this new storm gathers, panic looms. And some of the places you were thinking of for your money, well, they don't look so clever anymore. Secure your future against disaster now. Open a Noble Gold Investments IRA and claim your free bullion coin today. Go to LionelNationGold.com. That's LionelNationGold.com. LionelNationGold.com, the only gold company I trust. And remember, there's always a risk of investment and there's no guarantee of any kind. There you go, my friends. Huh? Okay. Just when I think I've said to myself, I just can't talk about this anymore. I can't talk about this. I'm thinking, no, we haven't even come close to it, because the thing that's so important, so critical, and so rich and so deep about what's happening in the Middle East is about this idea of there is a military issue. There is one of people, and it's so weird. We didn't look at Vietnam like it was about race, but this is about Jews and Arabs and no, those are the people who were there. If the French were there, just switch it around. French people versus Israel, be the same thing. You think this is about all of a sudden saying, no, this is about religion. No, it's about those people who live there. Those happen to be Jews or Israelis, and those happen to be Palestinians or Philistines or whatever it is. And if you switch them around, it'd be the same thing. There is nothing about this. Nothing. Kanye West. This is just, people say stupid things. People who say stupid things, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've got to get a kind of a grip on ourselves, don't you? I think we have to figure out. Don Imus. Remember Don Imus? When he had to walk hat in hand before Al Sharpton. Oh my God. Remember that? Oh, I would have said, you can forget it. I don't need this money. I'm leaving. But that nappy headed host up, no, no, no. That was stupid. That was stupid. That wasn't. You see, look, I'm not going to spend a lot of time belaboring the point. I want you to understand something. Repeat after me. I'm an American citizen. I don't live there. I wish people the best. I wish people peace. I pray, and all that kind of stuff, but I don't live there. That's up to them to figure this out, not me. And I want to spend all our money here. I don't want to buy weapon systems. I'm sorry. You want to do that? Raise taxes. That's what we do. You want to build more bombs? Raise taxes. Go someplace else. I don't care who you are. Enough. We live in a world right now where the mayor of my city is cutting police, teachers, valuable, necessary functions because there's no money. You know what I say? Screw him. Everybody else, I want the money here. I want to be Gaza. I want to be Israel. I want to be Ukraine, Crimea, whatever. I want the money. I want our money here. What does it make me a bad person? I don't care. I want it here. Nobody's sending me. Who's sending us money? Anybody? But if we don't need it, I don't understand something. Ladies and gentlemen, please, for the love of God, we have to get ourselves back to the garden or the farm or whatever it was. Wasn't that Woodstock? In any event, I love you all. I love you. I love you. I love you. You are fabulous. You are great. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of who we are. And now I'm going to turn my back on you. I'm sorry. I appreciate you being a part of this. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow. Same bad time in the morning. I'm a pretty exhausted camper right now. I'm going to watch some obscure television because I'm tired. And tomorrow's going to rain like a mofo here in the city. Okay? Because Turkey Day is just around the corner. I love it. Tim says, I love what Cardi B said. Oh, I know. When you've lost Cardi B, you've lost the rest of the world. All right, dear friends. Have a great and glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean this sincerely. And until then, remember these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta. Let's try it again.